Let's call the case. David Pata versus Seth Barton.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Paul Fessler on behalf of plaintiff, Dave Pata.
Your name?
Seth Barton.
All right. Where are we with reference to this case?
Last time we were here 2 weeks ago, the court ordered that my client be allowed into the premises to attempt to remediate some of the problems that were in there. He has gone in there, and he has gotten estimates on cleanup. Looks like it's going to be $11,000 for the cleanup. Defendant has not removed any of his possessions from the home yet. We're asking for an order of eviction today under Section E of the proposed judgment, because the tenant is willfully or negligently is causing a serious and continuing health hazard to exist on the premises, or is causing extensive and continuing injury to the premises, neglecting or refusing either to deliver a possession after demand or to substantially restore or repair the premises. If you recall at the last hearing, Your Honor, he's not living there. He just has all of his possessions in there. We would like an order of eviction so we can start cleaning up the premises. There is mold present in the living room. Everything has to be wiped down. Nothing has to be done in the basement. Nothing has to be done in the garage. Everything can be bagged up and tossed. We just need defendant to get his possessions out of there.
Sure.
What he's saying is not entirely true. I have been taking loads out almost daily. There's quite a bit of stuff in there that has been damaged due to the neglect and him opening the windows, which he did again since we've last been here. All the windows were left open. It rained again on my couch. There's at least, I haven't even finished going through inventory.
What, is that just today that it rained?
No, a couple days ago, Your Honor. Within the last 2 weeks since we've been here, I've been going and taking loads out of there with my truck almost daily, if not every other day. I'm going to have a trailer available this weekend on Saturday or Sunday to start taking the bigger furniture. But there's I contracted a fungal infection in my face due to the mold that's in the house. I was sick for over a week on antibiotics for 2 weeks. It's not an easy mess.
Sir, how do they got in there? I'm not clear on why I have to order some of the common sense things to occur. They wanted to make the repairs. They needed to get in. There's a big fight about him getting in to basically be able to look at it to figure out exactly what he needs to do. And now it comes down to they were able to get in, they were able to get an estimate. It's headed along that direction. You're not really living in the premises. And now it's a matter of getting your stuff out. And all I'm hearing are excuses.
Your Honor, he's never been blocked from access to the house. He's always had a key and a garage door opener.
When are you moving your stuff out? Let's just get to I'm just getting right to it.
Can I have a couple of weeks to get it all out? I've got quite a bit of stuff still to move and it needs to be cleaned before
I thought you just said to me that you'd been taking loads out, and then you said you were going to have a trailer this weekend to get the big stuff out. So why is it going to take 2 weeks?
I'm all by myself. I don't have anybody to help me, and I'm low on money from having to move yet again within a year after going through a long court battle of divorce and child custody issues.
When I approach, I have some pictures of just the condition of the house, just so you have an idea of what we're looking at here. Those were taken earlier this week. Defendant has not lived in the premises, and this is what we're looking at.
What do you have to say to these pictures, sir? I mean,
all the pictures except one are the garage. That's stuff that's all packed up and in tubs. It just storage. The rest is my tools. Kitchen sink with the dirt dishes. And that way, because there hasn't been hot water in there, so the pipe broke in the basement. There's still no hot water in the residence. There's no furnace operating in the residence. There's no filtered water in the residence. It comes out of the tap. It smells like sulfur and it's like brown water. Nothing has been repaired since the pipe has broken and flooded the basement and ruined all my stuff. The pipe is now leaking yet again in the basement. It's filling up with water on the side.
You're not there. They want to make the repairs. In order to effectuate the repairs, does all of these things have to come out? Is that?
Yeah, we need to do a foundation repair. I can't get through the garage to have a contractor bring in a new furnace, hot water, washer dryer. I mean, you can't even barely walk through.
Sir, if I order an eviction and the removal of these items, you've lost them all. Is that what you want me to do?
No, Your Honor.
Then tell me how you're going to get this stuff out so that these repairs can be done. Because at this point, you're causing waste to the premises.
I can have a path to be to the garage, through the garage for him to get to the basement tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, that's not how this is going to work. Here's what we're going to do. And it may end up, but I'm not prepared to necessarily order the eviction portion of it. But whatever company's the cheapest, get a pod and just put what you, and I'm not saying that you got to get more than one. I'm just going to allow you to stop waste, and I think it's under 4.201H, to not cause continued waste to the premises, because I do believe that in great part it's because of the tenant and you want to get in there to repair. Get a pod, put it out there. Those items that look like they are valuable, and I'm not gonna, if you didn't get them out of there, I'm not gonna be hearing that this valuable thing was left outside. Yes, sir.
There's a huge compressor. It's 5 feet tall. There's transmissions, engine blocks, cherry pickers.
In the garage?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's an unreasonable amount of,
But if you have to move it, I mean, if I order the eviction, then you're gonna have to pay somebody to come in and move. That's either way, you're gonna have the same issue. I hear you, but I'm just saying, if I were to do as council's indicating, give a judgment, order the eviction, you're gonna have to get somebody in there to move everything to the curb. You follow me?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an expense and a burden regardless, because you're not getting cooperation. Go ahead.
if he wants the stuff, I mean, can he pay for the pod and move his items into the pod?
Here's gonna be the problem. I don't intend that. How do I do this? The initial layout is gonna have to be yours because you've got to get in.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. My intent is that he's gonna pay for the pod. But if I say you pay for the pod, that's not gonna happen. The way he's dealing with this, it's not gonna happen. You follow what I'm saying? So, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I'm not ordering you to get more than one. And I'm going to allow you to use discretion, those things that might be damaged as a result of being out in the elements, go in. Those other things that can withstand that, and just pray the snow doesn't start flying. And you can go outside of it. And sir, so that you understand, you heard what I just ordered, right?
If I may ask if I can have at least the weekend to clear the garage out, where we can get the situation started?
No, because you should have been doing this before now.
You're right.
I mean, you just come up with these periods in time saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Right now, you're in a circumstance where you have to beat the pod there. If he goes out, leaves this courthouse, calls a pod, and they said we can have it there tomorrow morning or tonight, that pod's there. I'm not delaying this anymore.
Can I say something?
Sure.
He has 3 project cars, a horse trailer, a tractor, turkeys, geese, chickens,
What do you,
lawn furniture.
live ones?
Yeah, they're all outside. There's bumpers and all kind of stuff stacked up along the garage. It's been there for months that He didn't have permission.
Turkeys?
Yeah.
No, I got an idea for those.
Like wild turkeys or like,
Excuse me, wild turkeys or.
Yeah. Well, they're domesticated.
coming up on the holidays. That was a bad joke. So what are you suggesting in terms of,
Well, I guess the question is, can we tow the vehicles?
here's the problem. If you tow the vehicles, you're going to be putting them someplace. Somebody's going to have to pay for the storage of the vehicles. It's also going to be a more complicated process than just me saying to tow the vehicles, because it's going to have to, I mean, what you're going to have to deal with in terms of the tow truck drivers, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than to do the work on the premises. All right. Do the vehicles need to be moved out of the way? Okay. And I'm trying to make it so that the repairs can be done. I realize there's going to be, apparently, I wasn't clear on these animals, but there's going to have to be a lot more that's done regarding that. So what I'm trying to do is allow you a circumstance where you can get into the premises, do the work, not cause further waste to the property, and have the property done. Because I'm not ordering the eviction and removal of everything from the premises. All right. So you think you can find a way, if you ordered a pod, that if I put this out a week, that you can have substantial progress and start the movement along the lines of getting those repairs done?
Okay. I need 2 weeks, Your Honor. I'm going to be out of town next Friday.
All right. Sounds good. So, sir, you understand what's happening?
I need to move my stuff quickly to beat the pods there, right?
Well, you're in a race with the pod. I mean, because it's put in the pod. Now, if it's in that pod, I don't want you restricting his access to it. Okay. It's only there just to protect what may be there that in your mind might need to be protected from the elements. You follow what I'm getting at?
Yep.
All right. I'll adjourn this matter out then to November 21st, 2025 time.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. in person.
Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel, you, if you could prepare an order just indicating that the court, pursuant to the court rule and court order, has taken these steps.
I'll email that to the court later today or first thing Monday.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Go! Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go.
Fixing housing 401k plan versus Erica Ward.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Steve Otherly on behalf of Plaintiff Fixing Housing. Okay.
Donna Tope, appearing on behalf of Eric and Aaron Ward, the tenants on the lease.
All right. I'm almost afraid to ask, where are we?
Your Honor, I believe procedurally we're at this would be the first pretrial hearing because the first hearing was adjourned because Ms. Tope was out of town.
Yes.
Well, I didn't sign the order, but it was adjourned. However you want to look at it. Yes, procedural. Go ahead.
Your Honor, tenants Erica and Aaron Ward own and operate a horse boarding farm on the property. Under the lease, tenants are required to pay base rent of $5,500 per month without any deduction or set off whatsoever, and that's paragraph 3 of the lease. Tenants, what really kickstarted this dispute, tenants set off $2,800 from the June 2025 rent when they unilaterally placed the hot water tank on the property in violation of the lease. Tenants have not paid rent since August of 2025. From my knowledge, tenants are supposedly placing the rent in their attorney-client escrow fund. They're paying contractors and for supplies with the rent money owed to landlord. Tenants are operating their commercial horse farm rent-free on the property during the pendency of their circuit court action. Tenants admit to withholding rent, so there's really no factual dispute here. Under the lease, paragraph 19AC, the lease allows landlord to terminate and recover possession of property. Right now, I believe the base rent owed is $24,800.
24/8.
Yes, 24,800. Or if you want me to get into the procedural history, because there is a circuit court action that was filed.
Well, I was just going to ask about that. Go ahead. I'll get back to you. Let me just. What about the circuit court action?
Your
Is
Honor,
it between the same parties?
it's between the same parties with an added party, Willow Ward Equestrian, which is the business that operates on the property.
Got it.
That is the horse boarding farm that the tenants own. So in June 13th, on June.
Can I just ask,
Yes, Your Honor.
what is the general subject matter of that circuit court action?
The general subject matter is they filed the complaint and they're alleging that landlord, my clients, didn't make certain repairs on the property, and we dispute, the obligation under the lease agreement. But they're still not paying rent. And under the lease, it says that without any deduction or set off whatsoever. So they brought these claims. It was a race to the court, and tenants filed a circuit court action. And then we were forced to answer and counterclaim for breach of the lease agreement, breach of the guarantee, and we brought a tortious interference claim because tenants have been preventing my client from selling the property. My client's been trying to sell the property, and given their operation on the property, that's been an issue.
Who is that case before?
That case is before. I apologize.
Judge outside.
Judge outside has it?
Judge outside.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right.
So after landlord filed its answer and counterclaim, we filed a motion to compel payment of rent in August, but the court's earliest scheduling date for that was last week. So we've gone all of this time where tenants are operating on the property rent-free, and my client has his own financial obligations that he's not being paid for, but they're still operating on the property. And just because they filed a circuit court action does not insulate the tenants from defaults under the lease, and also doesn't bar this court from exercising jurisdiction over a summary proceeding.
So, Donna Tope here. You do have hearing that sometimes I'm not able to hear quite well. So I would appreciate that. Your Honor, I know that you are a very thorough judge, and I filed an answer to plaintiff's complaint to recover possession of the property. Thank you very much. And in that answer, I listed out the situation that led to our filing a breach of lease complaint in the circuit court that is being heard by Judge Aldzai. In my answer, I stated that the defendants leased the property at 2801 West Delphi in Scioto Township, Ann Arbor, Michigan. The lease began May 1st, 2021 and ends May 1st, 2028. The property has, and it states so in the lease, has been used as a horse farm. It's zoned agricultural for over 25 years. It has had an indoor arena, showing arena. It's a showing boarding facility. When Fixing Housing purchased the property on a land contract from the former owners. The lease with the wards continued that operation, that it operated as a horse farm. So this is a little different than most landlord-tenant cases, Your Honor, because while Aaron and Erica Ward are the tenants, the place needs to be made healthy, safe, for the welfare of not only the residents and the people who board their horses there, but also their horses. They have over 35 horses. So those are the beneficiaries of the landlord's duty to keep the premises under safe repair. About a year and a half ago, Erica notified the landlord that several of the outdoor sheds that shelter the horses during snow, sleet, the torrential rains we have 24/7, had deteriorated to the point where they fell down. A windstorm blew several of them down. They were no longer sheltering the horses, and the debris left by the destruction of the shelters was unsafe for the horses in the pasture. Erica Ward notified the landlord, asked for repairs. He did not respond. He also then went into the pastures because he has had it on the market. In the lease, it says that that it's invested. And he wanted to be able to show potential buyers and host events at the property, which he has not done. But he was looking for septic fields, and he had a bulldozer enter every pasture and dig with a bulldozer down 2 or 3 feet to see if the property perked for septic fields for development. It did not. He did not repair those. That is unsafe footing for the 35 horses that have to be out in the pasture 24/7, and they need safe footing. What started this current action, she also asked him to repair several other things. But what started this entire action was about June of 2025, the spigot, which supplies water for the horses, and they need a lot of water, needed repair. It was leaking, and it was going to burst and be unfunctional. She asked him to please make the necessary repairs. He did not make the necessary repairs. Aaron and Erica made the repairs themselves. They also, the hot water heater that provides hot water for the horses to be able to have their poultices for injuries.
But all of this is a result, it was in the circuit court action, right?
Yes, but it's under breach of the lease. And so what started this was that they asked for the hot water heater, which had failed. They asked for the hot water heater to be replaced. It's necessary for the safety of the horses.
But what about the provision that the base rent is going to be paid without deduction?
So that is if they live up to all of his responsibilities.
Is it conditional? That's not what I read.
Well, it is not conditional, but in any contract where one party breaches several.
I have 2 businesses in essence that have entered into a contract. That contract can read various different ways. I mean, you're trying to say that there's a general reading for contract. Maybe if it weren't 2 businesses operating at arm's length, you might be correct, but that's not what I have.
No, we have a lease, and under Michigan landlord tenant law, which I have researched with the Michigan State University Law School and the University of Michigan, the city of Ann Arbor.
MSU Law School? They
They
have one?
they
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
absorbed.
It's just my dig at MSU.
Okay, well, they do have one, and they give really great advice to their student tenants. And one of them is that if necessary repairs that affect the habitability, the safety, the welfare of the residents who are under that umbrella.
Where is that base rent now?
So in June, they notified him to please repair the hot water heater. He did not. They repaired it themselves. They withheld the cost of the hot water heater. Aaron did the labor installation himself. They paid him the difference between that withheld for necessary repairs that the landlord is duty bound to provide under the lease, and gave it to him. He then,
That's June.
that's June.
Okay, what happened in July? And where's that rent?
Yep, they paid it.
August.
We started withholding in August 1st. In July.
So, all right. Yeah, no, not really.
No,
You
okay.
ever do that to me again, you'll be out in the hallway.
Thank you. I apologize. I was not trying to.
August, September, October, where is the base rent?
The tenants told the landlord that they were going to have these things repaired, and that they were going to withhold the rent to make the repairs.
Why can't I just get an answer to my question?
And after they notified him, he had threatened to take over the farm, insert his own manager, and they paid the rent into an escrow fund, out of which the necessary repairs were made. They withheld the rent to make the payments to the contractors that were filling the dangerous holes in the pastures.
Where, out of what account?
They paid the account into an escrow fund that I held for them to be able to pay the contractors for the necessary repairs.
Counsel, like the last case you were here on, now we have a problem. Because either you're going to be a witness or you're going to be a party to this. We ran into this the last time you had a case before me.
Your Honor, I was their attorney, and this was the only way to be able to get the repairs done that had been necessary and posing danger to the horses, the residents.
You're playing, it's one thing if the attorney is using their trust account to hold funds of their client, right?
Yes,
These were not client funds.
yes. They were the client funds that were to be used to make the repairs for the lease.
Counsel,
In my answer, I have asked that you escrow, the rent was paid with a minor amount withholding that was still a balance due on repairs. The rent was paid this past month, and in my answer, I have asked you to set up, I've asked you to stay the eviction. I've asked you to escrow the rent under the same way you did in our other case. And I've asked you to transfer the case to the circuit court.
not happening.
Your Honor, their notice for possession and eviction is exactly the counter complaint that they made to Judge Aldzai several months
That's
ago.
because you filed there.
I understand, but it's the same for judicial efficiency.
Too late.
It's the same circumstances. It's the same claims. It's the
It
same.
may very well be, but that's for the court to decide.
Okay.
And I'm declining to do what you're asking regarding this case
Uh,
at this juncture.
you mean to transfer
I
it?
want to know where the escrow is.
The escrow is in my, it's all paid out. The escrow funds are all paid out to the contractors. They paid this month's
Counsel, do you
rent.
see the problem here? Do you?
Well, I know you want me to see the problem, but
Then that must be the answer is no.
no,
You took client money in
I withheld
then-
rent.
and then dispersed it.
I withheld rent under the landlord tenant.
But you can't on your own then disperse it.
They
If
dispersed,
they,
Erica Ward signed those contracts and paid those
Ms.
contractors.
Toth, if as a tenant, they elect to set up an escrow account to put their rent into, show me the authority that then permits them or their agent to disperse those funds.
This was not,
Show me authority for that. Because I'm going to tell you, you're not going to find it.
my first request was that you stay the possession,
This case.
repossession in this
Denied. Next request.
motion for you to set up an account for the rent to be escrowed into and paid out.
I am not going to have a problem ordering escrow.
Okay,
What I am going to have a problem with is that I think because of what you just explained to me, that you are a necessary party that has to be joined. Because if they set up their escrow account with you,
no, they paid the rent to me. I did not really, there's no formal escrow account. I held it so she could pay.
then that's another problem.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, oh my goodness, because the law has to be followed. They can't just give the rent to somebody else. If they're going to properly withhold, and I would have hoped you would have informed them of this, they have to set up an escrow account. Outside of the fact, then, they are really obligated to then let the landlord know where that escrow is.
I
And
did.
they are. But then they can't disperse it.
How can they pay for the necessary repairs that he did not perform over a year and a
You
half?
file suit and get an order. And the fact that you're a party to that, I think it's going to make you a party to this action, because if that money doesn't appear, I think, I'm not suggesting that it occur, but I think plaintiff has a claim as to you, because you had to take that rent as an attorney, as an agent, whatever. You took that in trust. It's like if they had decided to withhold rent and they went like most people would, if they're going to do this, they go to a bank, they set up the escrow account. The bank can't then, if it's set up as a true escrow account, they have to direct that it's paid out. But that's not what's happening here.
Under landlord-tenant law, tenants are allowed to withhold rent. They don't necessarily have to set up an escrow account. They just have to inform the the landlord where the money is, where the money
I
is held.
appreciate you giving me a lesson on land
I'm not
law
giv-
that I've been doing. for
I'm not,
64 years.
I read the Michigan state law about tenants and what to do about landlords who do not make necessary repairs for the health, safety, and welfare of their tenants, which in this case includes horses and boarders. I also did file suit. We filed suit in circuit court for breach of lease, for every single breach of lease that the tenant has performed over the last,
Is there anything else?
no,
Because you're not listening to anything I'm telling you.
I am hearing you.
You're not listening.
I am listening and I'm giving you an answer when you say you file suit, and I tell you that I did. We did file suit. No, do you want anything else from me? Do you have a,
I got a ton of questions, but I never get an answer. So you can have a seat. Anything else in the plaintiff?
Your Honor, I would just say that the withholding of the rent is against the lease agreement, and placing in the attorney's escrow and paying contractors and paying for supplies at Lowe's and Home Depot is completely, it's wrong. And what I put in the motion to compel payment of rent is that the case law, we're disputing, and we filed an answer disputing that, we're on the hook for some of these repairs, but longstanding Michigan common law provides that tenants' duty to pay rent is independent of the landlord's alleged covenant to repair in the commercial context. And that's the Reum case from the Michigan Supreme Court, and Detroit Marine Terminals is an unpublished.
Yeah, but statutorily that's been changed. So I understand the common law rule.
In the residential context, Your Honor.
I see what you're go ahead.
Your Honor, and that's all I have, unless you have any questions for plaintiff.
Is there another hearing set before Judge Outside?
yes,
What day?
on November 7th,
I believe it's Wednesday, this
Yeah.
upcoming Wednesday.
this coming Wednesday.
The basis for the termination in this case is really breach of their obligation, in a lot of ways, the obligation to pay rent. In this case, I think, as I was trying to point out, as this court views it, additional problems and concerns regarding the use of this money. So what I am going to order, which is also unusual to order these cases, but I will order it, that the defendants are to provide to the court an accounting of the escrow paid into whatever the account was and the disbursement. Yes, Ms. Toe.
Your Honor. In my answer to plaintiff's complaint to recover possession of the property and my motions to eviction, motion to transfer case and proposed order proceeding, I explained everything, and I included as the very last page, which was exhibit, I can't read my own writing, B2, and accounting.
Which one was it?
That was defendant's answer to plaintiff's complaint. It was filed on October 24th. They got a copy. The last page of that entire filing is an accounting of expenses paid.
Are the receipts attached?
I don't have, I can get the receipt.
I want the receipts attached. I want a very detailed accounting of what came in,
Yes,
what was paid out.
yes.
I want receipts for all of those
We
transactions.
have contracts, we have paid receipts. And an explanation of everything that the money went for.
Are you done now?
And the term of the lease under which that expense was made.
Are you now done? Presume yes. So I want that accounting. I am also going to order, how much is the base monthly rent?
$5,500.
Per month.
Per month. This was November paid to you?
The check was sent.
When was the check sent?
The check was paid out of Bank of Ann Arbor's bill payer on the 1st of the month.
And at this point, you haven't received a check. Give me 55 divided by 4 times 3.
Divided by 4
Times 3, yes. 41.25. I'm going to order that the defendants are deposed with the court within 7 days. Escrow for November prorated in the amount of $4,125. And then are deposed with the court $5,500 on the 1st of each month, and that rent ordinarily would be due. How long will it take you to get that detailed accounting to me, Ms. Tope?
I'll have it to you tomorrow, Monday.
You've got a hearing before Judge Outside next week.
Wednesday.
So I will then adjourn these proceedings. See where that has gotten to November 21st.
Is that before Thanksgiving? No,
It is.
it is. Is it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is on the 27th.
Your Honor, I am scheduled to be out of town with my family and relative in Portland, Oregon,
What days?
from the 20th to December 3rd.
Then fine. Then fine. We'll see you next Friday.
Next Friday?
Yep, the 14th. At what time?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. in person. All right, by that time, the escrow, at least the first payment of the escrow should have been paid, or some verification of the receipt, and then we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is just, today is an absolute joke. He needs an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in person. We're going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
No, 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 trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.